Hi, everybody, and welcome back to World History. A couple things before we get started. One, please make sure that you're turning in all your work. We have decided that we're not going to take off any late points for this first 9 weeks, so you can turn anything in with no penalty. So please make sure you get those turned in. Second, we did have a test last week. Please make sure that you go take that. You do only have 1 hour to finish that test, so please make sure that you finish it in that time period. If not, any questions that you do not have answered will be counted wrong. So please make sure that you're careful on your time. Third, we did put a survey on Classroom or on Canvas last week as well. Please make sure you fill that out. We want to make this class better for you guys, and that feedback is crucial for us making changes. So please make sure you take that survey. Another thing, word to the wise, we've seen a couple projects, not just a couple, quite a few projects that have been plagiarized. Okay, plagiarism is a serious, serious thing. Any assignments that we give you, you need to answer them in your own words. There's no reason why you should just be copying and pasting from a website. Okay, these assignments need to be done in your own words. If you copy and paste from another website, that is technically stealing intellectual property, and from this point on, you will get a 0, just a flat out 0. So please make sure that you are not just copying and pasting. Please use your own words. If you need help with an assignment and you don't know what to write, please contact us. We will give you further instruction and we will help you out. Do not plagiarize. As far as this week goes, we're going to try to do an easy week for you guys. We just finished our first unit of history. Now we're going to go to our first unit of geography. You will only have one graded assignment this week, and that is going to be this lecture and the discussion that follows. We will also be posting an extra credit project that will use the 5 themes. So again, you only have one assignment that you have to do, and then we will post a second assignment that will be optional. Okay, starting next week, we will get back into the swing of things, and we will be posting 4 assignments per week. So please make sure that you stay caught up in history and don't fall behind starting from now on. Okay, today we're going to talk about the 5 themes of geography. There are, first off, geography. Okay, we're going to be doing geography units after every history unit, and this is our first one. Geography is basically the study of Earth, the people that live there, the places that exist, and the environment we live in. Okay, it's a very easy course that we will be talking about. Basically, who lives on Earth and how do they live. Okay, with geography, there are 5 basic themes that every geographer looks at. It's location, where they are; place, what makes them unique; region, how can we classify like places into separate regions; human environment interaction, basically how do humans interact with the environment and vice versa; then movement, how things move across different places. So starting with location, okay, it's basically where something is on Earth. We have 2 different locations that we talk about. We have relative location and absolute location. Relative location is comparing one place to another. So an example of this is, do you know where Dillon's is? It's across the street from Walgreens. Okay, so things like that, using one location to find another. Another example of relative location is Liberal is in southwest Kansas. You don't know exactly where that is, but you have a rough idea of what southwest Kansas is. Okay? On the opposite of that, we have absolute location. This is where we give very precise information where something is located. So there are 2 ways we can do this. Most common that you know is probably addresses. Okay, anytime you go somewhere, if you don't know where you're going, you look up the address, and then you use GPS to get you there. Another way we use is longitude and latitude. These invisible lines of degrees that we have circling the Earth that can pinpoint an exact location. Okay, longitude and latitude are used more by specific professionals in navigation. Not necessarily something you will use on a daily basis, but you still kind of need to be familiar with it. Our 2 major lines of longitude and latitude. Latitude is going to be the equator. That's at 0. It separates the Earth between north and south. And then we also have the prime meridian, which is also 0, that separates west and east. Okay, but you're going to be more familiar and use more often are physical addresses. Place. Okay, these are locations on Earth that have distinct characteristics that make them meaningful to people. Okay, so here in Liberal, okay, as soon as you think Liberal, you think Redskins, because that is our one and only high school. That's something that is very unique to us here, and make us different from everybody else. So that makes us a very distinctive characteristic of Liberal, because we have the Redskins. Or if you went to Eisenhower or Seymour Rogers, you're either a Warrior or Apache. That makes it unique to you. Region. Okay, there are a few different regions that we can classify things into, but the two you need to remember are physical regions and human characteristics. Okay, physical regions, we use location to figure out those that we have in the United States. We have like the South, the Midwest, the East, the New England area, the West Coast. Those are all different regions that use physical characteristics to bind them together. Human characteristics are a little bit different. Okay, those are different cultural values that people share that make them their own region. So a human characteristic example of that would be our Great Plains. Okay, in the Great Plains, majority of our income is going to be agricultural based because of the environment we live in. So that's going to be a human characteristic. That shared occupation is going to create a region to classify us in. Human environment interaction. These are a few different things that we can talk about. We can talk about the environment in which people live in and how that dictates how people live. We have different landforms that, again, can cause people to live different lifestyles. We have climate and then resources. So those 4 things, how humans interact with those, will dictate their way of life. Some examples of this are our different housing styles, our food choices, our clothing, and the weather. Okay, if you look at these 2 pictures up here, they're 2 different housing styles because of the environment in which they live. This is going to be more of an inland housing style. You're going to see this probably here in Kansas because we have very flat land, so you can build on the actual ground. And then this house right here is built up on stilts. Okay, this is probably going to be a house that you most typically see along coastlines, especially in the Gulf, because they have quite a few hurricanes every year. And if their house was on the ground like this, it would flood every single time. So they've changed their housing style to accommodate that environmental factor. Okay, our food choices. Okay, here in Kansas, we are huge with beef because we have a lot of cattle in the area, so that's going to be our number 1 food choice. Okay, we have national beef. That's going to have an impact on us. We're going to eat more beef because of that. But then you think of places like Japan. They eat a lot of sushi and raw fish because they are 4 different islands. So all around them is water, and there's going to be plenty of fish for them to eat. So that's going to dictate their food choice. Okay. Also with clothing. Okay. If you live in, let's say, Canada, you're probably going to have more winter coats than you do summer shorts, just because of the environment you live in. So that's human environment interaction. The last theme that we have is movement, how people, products, ideas, and information move place to place. The most common thing you're going to think of when you think of movement is going to be the movement of people, immigration. People moving from one country to another, one region to another, a city to another. That is all what we study in geography, how people move and why people move. Okay, some examples of this, again, are going to be people. Okay, people migrating from country to country, are different products, new products that start in a city and then spread throughout. We're going to have different ideas, like democracy. The United States was one of the founding democracies in the world, and that has spread since then because people have taken that idea and gone with that. Also, information. Information is key because this has changed a lot throughout history. Starting with back in history, if you wanted to talk to somebody that lived across a state or across the country, you would use a telegraph system or you would use the postal mail. That would take a long time to get to him. Now, if you want to talk to somebody across the country, all you got to do is probably pull out the phone in your pocket and dial 10 numbers. It's very simple. It's changed a lot. Okay? So those are our 5 themes of geography. Very basic explanation of all of them. Now what I want you to do is I want you to go back to Canvas, go to our discussion board, and answer these 2 questions. 1, what is one thing you learned about the 5 themes of geography? And 2, how can you use the 5 themes of geography in your everyday life? Okay? Again, please make sure that you are answering these in your own words. They also need to be in complete sentences. So please make sure that you are finishing your thoughts and not just giving us a one-word answer. If you guys have any questions, you can always email us. Please make sure you email your individual teacher, not just me. Thank you.